You have the message of His Holiness the Dalai Lama for the auspicious beginning of the much-awaited renovation of the College Auditorium.
Together. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the foundation stone has been laid with the blessing of His Holiness and the presence of Professor Dinesh Singh, Vice Chancellor. His Holiness is being welcomed by the presentation of a katha typical of Tibetan tradition. Kindly be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the staff and students of Kalindi College, I wholeheartedly welcome His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, an international figure that stands tall and strong for non-violence, peace, and universal benevolence in today's troubled times. Now have the symbolic lighting of the inaugural lamp. I request the esteemed guests on the dais to kindly do the honors.
Shubham karoti kalyanam arogyam dhanasam Shatru buddhi vinashaya.
I now request Professor Dinesh Singh to kindly felicitate His Holiness with a shawl. Thank you. I request Professor Sangeet Ragi to kindly present a potted plant to His Holy Highness. I request Principal Dr. Maurya to kindly present a memento to His Holiness. Thank you. Thank you.
That today we have amongst us His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. His Holiness is the spiritual leader of Tibet. I cannot explain my gratitude in words that His Holiness has accepted our invitation to be here in Kalindi College. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, is a man of peace. In 1989, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his non-violent struggle for the liberation of Tibet. He has constantly advocated policies of non-violence even in the face of extreme aggression. He is the first Nobel laureate to be recognized for his concern for global environmental problems. All of my colleagues from teaching and non-teaching staff and my very dear students, on behalf of Kalindi College, I once again thank His Holiness for gracing this occasion. Dhanyavad, thank you.
Most revered Holiness, my colleagues, Dr. Maurya, Dr. Sahu, Dr. Ragi, distinguished members in the audience, colleagues, and dear students. Today is indeed a blessed day. We have been blessed because His Holiness the Dalai Lama has chosen to be present here on the occasion of the foundation stone laying ceremony of the proposed auditorium. And he is going to speak today. He's going to speak on compassion and education. And I now address the students largely. I urge each one of you to pay heed to his words. Education is nothing if it does not engender, if it does not create compassion. In fact, only that is education which brings about compassion. Because when you get educated, you will truly realize your own self. And within that self, you will see God. And if you do that, then you will see God everywhere. And to be truly God's person, you have to be compassionate. महात्मा गांधी का प्रिय भजन था नरसिंह मेहता का, वैष्णव जन तो तेणे कहिए जे पीर पराई जाने. Only that person qualifies to be called God's person, a person of God, if and only if that person has compassion for all living beings. Gandhi always said that the thing that made Bhagwan Buddha so great was his infinite compassion for all living beings. And if you want to understand Bhagwan Buddha, then what better than His revered Holiness the Dalai Lama here today to teach us about that? I urge every student, therefore, to not only pay heed to his words, but also to follow from the example he has set through his own actions. Holiness, this college is one of our most promising colleges. The students who come here are extremely motivated and talented. I have great hopes that they will serve the cause of India and of society well. And I want your particular blessings on this occasion for all the children who are assembled here. It may well be that the next time His Holiness comes to this college to bless us, the auditorium will have been constructed and we will meet under the shelter and roof of the blessed auditorium which His Holiness has laid the foundation. जब करीब बैठ जाते हैं, मन शांत हो जाता है, इच्छा होती है आंखें बंद कर लें, इबादत की ओर झुक जाएं, उनके करुणा का एहसास होने लगता है. मैं और कुछ नहीं कहूँगा. अवसर है उन्हीं से सीधे प्राप्त करने का, उसी करुणा की झलक. उसी के साथ मैं अपना वक्तव्य समाप्त करता हूं। डॉक्टर मौर्य की ओर कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करता हूं कि मुझे यह अवसर दिया। विश्वविद्यालय की आत्मा उसके कॉलेजेस में बसती है और आज उस आत्मा की आत्मशुद्धि हो रही है। इस अवसर पर हम सब मिलकर इस करुणा की गंगा में स्नान करें। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. I now invite Professor Sahu to kindly address the gathering.
His Holiness, Professor Dinesh Singh, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Sangeet Ragi, Dr. Anula Moria, invited guests, and my dear students. It's a difficult job to speak after the Vice Chancellor. I can't match his style, his words. Today I am extremely happy to inform you that when I took over as the chairman of this governing body of this college, which Professor Dinesh Singh assigned me, I had a dream for this college. I tried my best to give my best to this college. And my first assignment was to build an amphitheater right here. And today I am extremely happy that we are having a function. In fact, this is the first function which is being organized in this amphitheater. It wouldn't have been a better occasion than this to have His Holiness to address thousands of students and teachers from different parts of Delhi University. I am extremely grateful to Dr. Anula Moria. She has been such a wonderful person. Whenever I proposed something, whenever I wanted to do something for the college, she has never said no. So my job was much easier. And whatever the governing body decided, she just as a disciplined soldier implemented it. And although I wanted to continue in the college, but my new assignment didn't give me a chance to serve the college. But I am extremely grateful to His Holiness that a month back when I received a telephone call, I was in Imphal. His office asked me which could be a possible date for His Holiness to visit, 27, 28, 29th of January. So it came out from mid-28th. And I'm extremely grateful that His Holiness and his office agreed to the request. And since I left the college, I thought that I will not be able to attend this function. But I'm grateful to each one of you, especially to Dr. Anula Moria for inviting for such function. I just booked my ticket and just reached Delhi 2 days back, and after attending the function, I'll be going back. I am extremely happy to interact with all of you, and I have already requested His Holiness to address a large gathering in Manipur, which requires a lot of peace and tranquility, and His Holiness has acceded to my request. I'll be looking forward to meet His Holiness in northeast of India, which is the main attention of the whole country. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our Vice Chancellor, who had not only given me an opportunity to serve this place, but also to serve in the Northeast. And I assure you, sir, wherever I am, I'll make Delhi University proud, I'll make you proud, I'll make Kalindi College proud. Thank you very much, sir.
I now request His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama to kindly deliver his talk on compassion and education for our young students.
Respected elder brothers and sisters, and younger brothers and sisters. I always use the word brothers, sisters, because my fundamental sort of belief, we are same human being, and different professions, different background, different religious faith, different nationality, and male, female, or high position, or low position, or rich or poor, educated or uneducated. These are secondary level of differences. Fundamental level, we are same human being. The topic which I am going to speak, compassion. Compassion actually oriented on a human level is oriented to human being. Not some kind of professors or gurus or kings, or not like that. It's a human being. Compassion is a ghost. And then, more important, look, today, basically, I think we humanity, see, with help of technology and science, you see, I think much changed. Education, I think much sort of developed. This country also, when I am passing through some area, the early morning, there are a lot of students. And some village also, you see, like that. So education really now developed and developing. And then perhaps I think I may say, may I say so, I think every part of the world, I think 1,000 years, different human community pray to God. I don't think any pray for more conflict. Pray for peace, for happiness. In spite of that, a lot of problems we are facing. All these major problems actually our own creation. That on the basis of secondary level of differences, including religious faith and different nationality, different country. Within same community, the different social background make discrimination. And also some cases, the discrimination, I think better to put that. This is sometimes I is expressing my right hand, see, when I speak, right hand faithfully serving my word. So something here, sometimes it go like that, so better, safer put there. Or tight my right hand, like that. So there is Tibetan saying, the finger or hand should serve mouth. Right, like that. So in any way, so this man-made problem actually too much based or too much emphasis on secondary level of differences. If we go fundamental level, same human being, then hardly No sort of gazoda source create conflict. We are same human being. Then basic human nature is more compassionate. Thus now scientists, through their experiment, nowadays they say, basic human nature is more compassionate. That also quite logical. We born from our mother. We grown up with mother, particularly with mother and parents' sort of affection. And particularly mother's own milk. And some scientists, they say, after birth, mother's physical touch is key factor for proper development of child's brain. Then, obviously, we can see now here a few thousand people. Outwardly, everyone smart. Deep inside, those individuals who received maximum affection from mother, from parent, also from friends. Such people, deep inside, much peace, and ready show other affection. Those people who early part of life lacking care or affection from their parent, or worst case, abuse. Person who grow that kind of sort of life, no matter how apparently wonderful, but in deep inside, sense of insecurity, sense of fear. So such person always deep inside, because of some fear, difficult to trust other people. So that result, the person unhappy. So the basic sort of mental state, some sort of uneasiness or some kind of fear or distrust, the person easily develop anger, violence, and difficult to show other affection or compassion. So therefore, basic human nature is compassionate sort of being. Reason, we are social animal. As a social animal, see, mentally or emotionally, there is something which brings together. That's affection, love, not anger, not distrust, not jealousy. So therefore, we are social animal. So biologically, we equipped, showing affection other, but more surrounded by sort of friend who shows you affection, even your physical condition become better. Again, you see some scientists, through their experiment, constant fear, constant anger, hatred, actually eating our immune system. So therefore, the basic human nature is more compassionate, and human sort of basic sort of nature like because of the more gentleness. So now here, important to think or to talk more. Basic human level, we are same human being. We all have the potential of love solving, love, compassion. Now we must remind people and tell people we are social animal, we are compassionate, and society need compassion in order to build happy society, peaceful society. Basic human, one of best, I think, thing, human sort of quality is human affection or sense of community. With that sense of responsibility, I am part of the society. I also have, my life depends on the society. I have to sort of look, or I have to take care, or to think the sense of responsibility about the society. So now society, in ancient time, isolated small sort of society, a community. Now today, whole world, 7 billion human beings, directly or indirectly, some link. So entire 7 billion human beings is actually one community, one sort of human community. So therefore, now we really now need think more about sameness of 7 billion human beings. That's the basis of cultivate sense of concern, sense of compassion, right? Sense of concern of well-being of other. So I always talking, brothers, sisters. Actually, we are even person who creates some problem for you, actually human brothers, sisters. Now for that, now here, affection or compassion, there are two levels. One level, biological factor. That is that kind of compassion or love towards your friend. For example, mother's affection or love towards child or children. It's a biological factor. The children's survival need mother's love. Love brings effort. So taking care fully. Without love, mother will not pay much attention to the well-being of children. Then children will not survive. So that's a biological factor. There's some other animal, social animal, also is more or less have the same sort of, what's the day, same kind of love. Dogs, cats, birds. Now we, human beings, because of this brain, we can further develop that limited compassion towards your own friend or your own circle, immediate circle, can extend affection or sense of concern towards entire human being, or furthermore, entire sentient being, because of this intelligence. Now this intelligence combined with faith, also useful to promote or to strengthening human love, affection. That's the old majority tradition. You see, carrying the practice of love, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline. All majority tradition carry. These practice of love, combined with faith. Now, according to Indian tradition, there are non-theistic religions also there, like Buddhism, Jainism, and one part of Sankhyaism. It's no concept of creator. So, God as such creator, no such sort of concept. So now here, in order to promote the human compassion, not through faith, but through reasons. So that's why ancient Indian spiritual tradition, a lot of talk about emotion, or destructive emotion, constructive emotion, and how to tackle, you see, these things. Very, very rich. So last over 30 years, as you see, the lady you see mentioned, I have serious sort of dialogue, discussion with modern scientists. Really genuine, well-known scientists, really matured scientists. So now here, the ancient Indian psychology or knowledge about emotion, about mind, compare modern psychology. Modern psychology almost looks like kindergarten level. India's ancient sort of knowledge about mind, emotion, is highly developed. So you see, because you see some of these sort of tradition, they use the method for promotion of basic human values and moral principle, not through faith, but through reasons. So therefore, a lot of investigation about the human mind, about the human, what's it there? Emotions. So if may I say so, now modern India, a little bit neglected about this knowledge. You're very much busy about modern education. These old, ancient sort of Indian sort of knowledge, see, you, I think, more or less contented. So we Tibetan, we are a follower of Nalanda tradition. So the Nalanda masters, actually 8th century, the almost the top at that time, the scholar, bhikshu, scholar, logician, meditator, Shanta Rakshita. He invited by Tibetan emperor, 8th century. So he introduced Buddhism more or extensively. So he come from Nalanda. He himself is a student of Nagarjuna or Arya Sangha. So, and also Dignath, great logician of Nalanda. So you see, he introduced Buddhism according his own tradition. That's Nalanda tradition. Very much emphasis, rigorous study. Firstly, memorize the root text, then each word explain, then use logic. So therefore, you see, we, in that respect, I think we quite proud. You see, we really kept your tradition intact. So sometimes I describe, You Indian, historically, our Guru, Guruji, we are Chela. And then, you see, I also see telling, we are quite reliable Chela. Because, you know, the Guruji's own land, a lot of ups and downs. During those periods, we as a Chela kept intactly. So now today, on this planet, pure Nalanda tradition or complete form kept only in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, no other. So, is it quite sufficient to say reliable Chala? What do you think? Guruji too much busy about modernization and technology, these things. You see, I think Guruji contented some prayer without knowing the meaning, just recite some Sanskrit shlokas and then some rituals. So recently, I also used to participate in the World Hindu Conference. There I mentioned the ancient time, many non-Buddhist sort of tradition. Also, you see very much emphasis about the knowledge and a lot of sort of, the discussions with Buddhist scholars. So I remind them. So at that time, both Buddhist and non-Buddhist, the knowledge about mind or these things, highly developed, very, very rich. And also logic, Parman, very, very sort of rich. So these now very important to pay more attention. Just some rituals, some pujas, not sufficient. Must pay more attention about these ancient knowledge. So I mentioned there. So, actually, it's this country, in the past, really, I think, best brain, human being with such sort of wonderful brain, I think that they use brain fully utilized. So, like quantum physics. And modern time is quite a new sort of theory. In this country, quantum physics, 2,000 years ago, already developed that concept. Raja Ramana, Indian nuclear physicist, once he told me, one meeting in Delhi, he found the concept of quantum physics in Nagarjuna's writing. That's 2,000 years ago. So he told me he felt very proud as an Indian. So quantum physics in the West, something new. This country, 2,000 years ago already, you see, developed that concept. So very, very sharp mind. And then logic. Now Buddhist logic still available on the basis of Dignag's Dharmakirti, their text, available in Tibetan language. We study that. As a lady you see mentioned, my own. One umbrella. No. For me, okay. You sit. You use. Oh, that's also good, very good. Very practical. Now formality no longer. You see, guest usually used to remain like that. Now guest also now working. In 1954, 55, or 54, at the beginning of my visit Peking. No. For me, no problem. No problem. No problem. I think this two hand, I think need what you call vitamin D or something. Good. Very good. So you see, in Peking, see, soon after I arrival, the Indian ambassador in Peking, you see, came to see me. And then some Chinese officials also there. Very, very formal. Oh, too much formal. Then, while you see everybody, you see, remain like this, almost like a statue, and a few words already recorded in their mind. So then, all of a sudden, one plate with fruit somehow toppled. Toppled. Then those Chinese officials who remain like a statue, they also then kneeling and then put all the fruits like that. So I just watching it deep inside. I really feel love, and also I appreciate. It's too much formality. Something goes wrong, then no longer formality. I love that. And one time in New Delhi, it's one spiritual meeting. One Shankara Acharya, say, of course, no doubt, very holy person. See, his chair, I think his sort of, as a follower, is arranged a little bit higher. So chair itself not very high. So you see some bricks you see put under the casa, under the leg. I just beside there. So I felt, oh, if that break, something goes wrong. Then the spiritual leader almost you see looks like statue. No word, no single word. And then in my mind, oh, if that brick topple, then the Holy Spirit, spiritual leader may act as a human being. So sometimes my mind is quite funny. Okay, like that. So I always is telling, whenever I sort of have the opportunity to talk with Indian, education center or universities like that. Now here also I want to repeat. You have very, very rich knowledge, rich tradition of knowledge. So these we should consider as a secular academic subject, not a religious matter. If you consider these are religion, then its own sort of boundary there. Should consider as a sort of academic subject. Therefore, since few years, I requested some Buddhist scholars among Tibetan or students, please compile out of 300 volumes Buddhist text which translated from India. See, the one part, science of mind, and also science of matters also, although there is limitation, the Western modern science is much better. We can learn much from physical level. The mind, emotion or mind is concerned. You see, we highly develop. Therefore, many scientists now really showing great eagerness to learn from the ancient Indian psychology. So it is pity remain as a religious matter or religious sort of concept. Then it put in altar like holy books. No, should take these points compile separately as is ancient science or science of mind. Now we already compiled. So the Tibetan, we already sort of published. Then English translation, Hindi translation, Chinese translation, very soon now completed. So once Hindi translation, English translation completed, I will send. See, volunteer basis, some individual student, I think, read these books. Quite useful. So then, you see that, again, India's tradition, secular way, secularism. Not only respect all religions, but also respect non-believer. That's wonderful. Over 3,000 years, see, you have already that kind of tradition. Respect even non-believer. That's very fit of today's world. Out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion are non-believer. So this knowledge about emotion, about mind, should treat it as a sort of academic subject. That we already trying to make like that. And then philosophy, including quantum physics. There is philosophy. And then third, as a religion, as a Buddhism. What is religion? That's only for Buddhist. So now here I want to share with you. You see, you have very, very rich tradition, not only ancient tradition, but relevant to today's world. With that tradition, religious harmony also come. Concept of ahimsa come. Religious harmony, concept of ahimsa, very, very relevant to today's world. It's not a matter of just a few prayers in temple. No. Systematic way to educate our people. So in our secular education field, some education, some curriculum about the education about warm-heartedness, education about compassion. Strictly secular way, that also we are working. Now, next few months, we already finalized. We will be finalized with help of some scientists, some educationists, like that. So therefore, see, you have such sort of rich tradition, very practical tradition. Now these must revive in education field. So that I want to, firstly, I want to share is in these points. Then second, this is a women's college, right? Women's college. I just expressed, it is extremely important. Now here, some reasons. You know, in the society, even some religious field, there is some sort of discrimination male dominance and female, little sort of, I say they look a little bit lower. That actually about several 100,000 years ago, then no education, small human community, their life very simple, and the community, small number. So each community, see, they work together and share whatever they get together. Or fruits, wild fruit, or some fish, or just wild animal kill. And then gradually, so at that time, so no concept of rulers, or leadership. Then gradually, population increased, and the farming system also developed. Then the concept of my farm, my thing, it grew. Then steals, bully, these develop. So the concept of leadership comes. At that time, no rule of education, no education. So in order to become leader of the community, only according to physical strength. So that is the start, male dominance. Then gradually education developed. Education brings more equal, male and female. Now still, world, male dominance, still there. Now, as I already mentioned, education alone will not be guarantee for happy life, or individually, family level, or community level. Education must combine, as the professor has mentioned, must sort of combine sense of responsibility on the basis of sense of concern of others' well-being. That's a compassion. So now time come. Education alone not sufficient. So we must promote through education about our inner value, love, compassion. In that respect, female biologically more equipped. Again, you see some scientists, they experimented. Through their experiment, you see, they found female biologically more sensitive about others' pain. So therefore, biologically, female have more sort of potential, provide loves, and sort of as they show. Therefore, now time come, we need some special effort, rigorous effort for promotion of human inner value. That is love. Now, in this respect, female should take more active role. So, our younger sisters now here, and also teacher as the elder sister, please now think more seriously. Say how to promote human compassion, human love. You have more sort of potential, physically, biologically. So, that I would like to share with you. And then the authority of this college, especially for female, wonderful, really wonderful. I very much appreciate. And then also, you see, the among the community, some poorer section of people, right? So you pay some attention. That's wonderful, really wonderful. Deeply appreciate. Sometimes, you see, poorer section of people, because of their economic condition poorer, many fields, they remain a little bit sort of behind. So we have to pay more attention. You see, those poorer section of people, same human being, as the professor has mentioned, as far as intelligence is concerned. You see, all human beings, same potential. So I say helping in order to reduce this gap, rich and poor. Education is the key factor. And also some sort of discrimination on the basis of race, as a caste system. Backward, outdated. Rule cannot change this immediately. Through education, can change. So some of the India's drawbacks, you see, through education, I think these will change, will improve. So please, young sisters, please should have deep insight, self-confidence, and courage. Oh, I can do sort of more effectively in the society, promotion of human love, human compassion. Through that way, justice society, right? These injustice can reduce through that way. So please think more seriously, and you need self-confidence. Okay. So that's all. Now my talk finished. So it's a combination, intelligence, education, and warm-heartedness or compassion combined. Then you individually also be happier person and a happier family. And girls, if you have inner beauty, these things, you also eventually get a good husband. One time, you see, in early 60, one Tibetan sort of the official, monk official, he eventually disrobed. See, that was official, really trusted, sort of very good person. So I know very well. So one day I teased him, you now disrobed, but your wife not that much attractive. I teased him. And then he responded, yes, physically not that much attractive, but inner beauty is so good. So then I have nothing to say. So I think now modern world spend a lot of money for cosmetic. That also good, but equally, you see, make effort to cosmetic for inner beauty. That's very important. Okay, thank you. So now I would like to take some questions.
Thank you, His Holiness. It was truly a blessing listening to you by one and all in this gathering of thousands of students and teachers. Before we move on to the interactive session with the students, we have the prize distribution for the oratory competition held on the occasion of Good Governance Day on the 24th of December last year on the topic Swachh Bharat, Swasth Bharat, a Government of India initiative towards a cleaner, healthier and happier society. The first prize of Rs 15,000 is shared by Ms. Aditi of Journalism Honours First Year and Ms. Jyoti, a student of Hindi Honours Third Year. I invite the students on the stage. The second prize of rupees 10,000 is shared by Ms. Akansha of BCom Honours second year and Ms. Shipra of Economics Honours third year. The third prize of rupees 5,000 is shared by Ms. Bhavna of Journalism Honours first year and Ms. Deep Shikha of Physics Honours first year. Okay. We now proceed further with the interactive session, His Holiness, with His Holiness. I now invite students to kindly put forward their questions in brief. The first name that I have here is Ms. Sumedha from the English department. Can you please raise your hand?
My heartiest greetings to His Holiness. You said in your speech that compassion can be taught through education. I want to ask that can being compassionate also help us to gain knowledge in a better way?
I think so. Because, more compassionate mind automatically creates mind peace, calm. That very important for properly use our intelligence. Mind such as fear, anger, to that way disturb your mind, then difficult to properly function our intelligence. So student, I think in the class, the teacher is showing genuine concern of their whole life and showing sort of genuine sort of sense of concern of their whole life and education. And then accordingly sort of teach. The student mind, how to say, very calm, or trust, sort of, because of trust, or close sort of relation with teacher. Then the subject goes deeper mind. Other hand, the classroom, teacher not much show real affection. Then I think as soon as the student enter the classroom, may feel, oh, again you see, let's say the or something. So their mind, you see, may not concentrate on the subject. So that also shows compassion really help us as they develop our intelligence. Okay, that's my view. And sometimes also you see need a little bit of threat from teacher. My own case, when I was quite young, I think around 10 years, 7, 8 years, my teacher, you see, kept one whip.
23 minutes.
I was quite lazy student. So therefore, you see, my teacher, you see, kept one whip. That whip, yellow color. So suppose the person or student, holy person, because of Dalai Lama, young Dalai Lama. So whip also should be holy, so yellow whip. But I know if yellow whip use any sort of differences of holy pain. So therefore, out of my fear, I carry more serious study like that. So occasionally, you see, sometimes fear also may help initially. But long run, never. You see, full affection, compassion, peaceful, friendly atmosphere in the classroom, education. Then you see, intelligence, function of properly, fully. So I connection there. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Next.
Thank you. Next, we have Deepika from second year chemistry honors.
His Holiness, with due respect, I have a question. How can we direct our energies towards compassion based on altruism?
You see, compassion, as I mentioned earlier, sense of concern of others' well-being. So that's altruistic attitude. So that, you see, further, then finally, or possibly, you see, the altruism towards entire humanity, entire sentient being. So that we can do. My own sort of experience. At very young age, as I mentioned earlier, very reluctant, lazy student. Then my age around 15, 16, then I developed genuine interest. Then study. Meantime, practice. So, through decades practice, and they practice not just a single-pointed meditation, but use reasons, use common sense, then nowadays use scientific findings. Through that way, you realize, altruistic mind is immense benefit to myself. For health also, you see, altruistic mind really immense help to our physical health. Because, you see, peaceful mind. Meantime, altruistic also bring self-confidence, inner strength, a positive way. Sometimes anger also, you see, brings some extra energy, but that's a blind energy. Compassion brings some energy, that is positive energy. So, you see, these very helpful for our health. Now, scientists, as I mentioned earlier, the medical scientists, now they found, you see, anger and these things very bad for our health. So, therefore, you see, reasoning, various ways, then develop conviction or practice of altruism is immense benefit, not only other, but myself also. That, you see, eventually, you see, develop the strength of altruism. Not day by day, right? Not within days, but within decades, some change. So we can train. Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, I invite Ms. Arushi from Political Science Honours, third year.
A very warm welcome to you, sir. Sir, my question is that should we show compassion to the people who are violent?
Yes, certainly. Compassion. I think I already mentioned, you see, compassion, purely logical factor. Another compassion, we only you I can go there. No problem. No problem. Oh yes. Now this I will keep if necessary. Do it. So, so you see two levels of compassion. Biological factor, that oriented towards your friend. Firstly, your parent or like that. That's the animal also have. Now, the compassion which we are talking is through training, through use of common sense and the scientific findings, that not oriented about others' attitude, but rather, as I mentioned before, human level, as a human being. Then enemy, also, as far as their attitude is concerned, negative towards you. So we call enemy. But still, your enemy also sentient being, human being. So they deserved our love, our compassion. So you can keep. So the first level of compassion is biased, limited. Second level of compassion, unbiased. Unlimited way. Unlimited. So we are talking the second level of compassion through training, use reasons, so that easily you can extend your enemy. Okay. We need, you see, training, use reasons. Now, for example, your troublemaker, your enemy, if you develop anger, that really solve the problem. Enemy creates some problem, you also, you see, then the sort of similar attitude, anger, never solve problem. Your anger will not harm your enemy. Sometimes I telling you see, you with your neighbor some problem. Then, if you remain your own room, constant anger, then eventually your physical condition ruined. Constant doctor come or go. You have to go hospital to treat. Then your neighbor as your enemy feel very happy. In spite your neighbor, you see, create a lot of problem, but you still remain calm, happily. Through that way, more successful life, then your enemy really feel the worry. So the best way, you see, bring more worry your enemy, you should remain calm. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Next question.
We have the last question from Dr. V.S. Negi from Shaheed Bhagat Singh College.
Good morning, His Holiness. Very humbly, I want to submit my question that about 55 years back, you were forced to live in exile and you were deprived of a land, a holy land of Tibet. You were deprived of that land, but you ruled millions of hearts after that in the whole globe. So what do you say? It was good to send in exile for humanity, or you are deprived from the people of Tibet? Simple.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Every event, you see, if you look holistic way, every event, some negative side, some positive side. So, you see, one way, I lost my own country and a lot of sort of sufferings in my own country. And the real danger of, the disappear about Tibetan rich Buddhist culture. So very sad. Other hand, this tragedy give, I think, around now 200,000 Tibetan reach outside world, and see getting new opportunity to learn, to work. Then me personally, I had last now over 55 years now, nearly 56 now. It's a very good opportunity. Meeting with people from different backgrounds, including religious sort of scholars, religious leaders, and business people, politicians or leaders, and backers or aid patients, and mainly scientists. If I still remain inside Tibet, I think Dalai Lama should remain as, or Tenzin Gyatso should still remain as a holy person, like that Hindu master, not single word. Possible. So too much ceremonial things like that, meaningless. Too much formality, protocol, no meaning. So as an exiled person, I can act as a human being. I really much happier, you see, caring as a human being. Talk, exchange, like that. So therefore, one aspect, very bad. Looking only that aspect, more sort of worry, more stress. The same effect, same event, but some other aspect, yes, very good. So that is one way, you see, to bring our mind more calm. Many cases, including illness, always look one side. And many politicians, many leaders always look just one side. Although nobody wants a problem. But many problems, you see, happen because they always, you see, too much sort of stress one aspect and looking from one angle. In order to know the reality, we have to look from various angles, 4 dimensions, 6 dimensions. Then we know the reality. Just from one angle, one dimension, you can't see the reality. Then any effort with that kind of sort of views be unrealistic method. So I think last over now 55 years, I feel very useful I think, very useful time, meaningful time, learning a lot of things like that. Okay.
Thank
And
you.
also, you see, also the opportunity for practice of forgiveness. Very good. Okay. Next question. What? Okay. Then one last question. Last question.
One last question. We can have Sangeeta. Sangeeta.
His Holiness, with respect, I have a question. What is the simplest and most effective act of compassion?
Karsa. Please repeat.
What is the simple, most effective act of compassion?
Simple, Gaza. Then perhaps you also want what is the fastest way, easiest way, then perhaps cheapest way. Then my answer is no. You need a lot of effort and years. But firstly, knowledge. Knowledge not relying on religious text, but knowledge, common sense. And I feel, you see, more important, the scientific findings. Then with belief, we all have the same potential because we come from our mother. We all have the same potential. One time in San Francisco, one I think congressman from that area came to see me, and he told me at that time the Iraq crisis already happened. So he told me his young son, expressed to him, Saddam Hussein, also when he was young, he also could be normal sort of children, normal sort of boy, and receive a lot of affection from his mother. It is true. We all, have the same potential. And that brings confidence. Yes, I can do. I can practice. I can increase these things and use intelligence like that. So that's the proper way. The easiest sort of something like the kaza, light, switch on, off, no that way. Or modern sort of the automatic machine, no. We need constant effort. And the time factor is very important. As I mentioned earlier, mental development is concerned. Knowledge, day by day increase. Deep experience will not take place that way. I think years, then decade by decade, like that. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So my answer may disappoint you. You want something very easy. Now, thank you. Now, not much time now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I now invite Vice Principal Dr. Anjula Bansal to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much to all of you.
Kindly remain seated. I request the audience to remain seated.